My name is Travis Stayton. I own Home of the Brave Outdoors in Austin, Minnesota, and I hand make fishing lures. Let's see what we can catch today. My dad and I used to fish small creeks out in the country. In fact, I remember fishing down the road from our old country home off the bridge, just catching suckers, chubs. Mainly on those kind of fishing trips, we were fishing for trout over east by Spring Valley or Forestville State Park, and an all-day trip, and we'd bring back our limit for the day, for the grill, you know. Usually when I'm trout fishing, I'm looking for brown or rainbow trout, and sometimes I'll come across a brook trout, which is native to the streams near Lanesboro, Preston, Spring Valley area. How often do I get to go fishing? Well, it's not often enough. Definitely not as much as I used to. It's relaxing. It's you know, catch and release, a lot of it. I use a ultralight 7-foot rod with 6-pound monofilament. A good reel usually helps, along with the line, of course. Other things to have on hand are a knife to cut the line, a stringer, of course, to bring home fish. By 2009, I had decided that I would actually try to make my own fishing rods, but I had changed my mind and got into fishing lures instead. Number one, because fishing lures were getting expensive to buy because I kept losing them. And it just kind of took off from there. I get inspiration for my lures from looking at other lures, looking at the actual fish patterns of the fish themselves, especially brown trout. They have a brown back with a yellow belly, red and black spots down the middle. I've actually replicated a pattern for that on my lures, on some of them. Inventing lures is very hit and miss, kind of pass and fail, basically. You know, I'll take one base model of a lure, a spinning lure, and if that didn't work, I'll add a dressed hook to it, which entails either feathers or fur wrapped around the hook, or I'll put bright colors on the lure blade, and that usually helps attract fish. I figured out I had a good design when I tested them on trout themselves, that almost every other cast I had a fish on the line. Does the leaf count? The movement of the lure helps attract the fish by vibration, flash. If you have shiny pieces on the lure, it creates a flash, especially with overhead sun, and if the water's clear. The dragonfly lure is actually my #1 seller. I've sold this particular lure from Alaska to Texas, California to as far as Maine. It's a double-bladed spinning lure, mainly about 3 to 4 inches long. Comes with treble hook. Sometimes I dress the treble hook. I'll put dots or lines with dots on the blades, and what's called an eye bead also. It's a bead with eyes on it for the head. My workshop is down in in my basement. It's a smaller area. Yeah, it's just basically everything I need down there to help me make lures. Basically, you start out with a wire shaft. That's your backbone of the lure. And what I'll do is I'll cut that off the roll and I'll put an eye in there. Snip off the excess, and then I'll start with my front bead and say we're doing a dragonfly, so I'll put the eye bead on there, and then I'll put 2 beads on after that to help keep that eye bead from, I guess, getting tangled up in the blades, and put the blades on after the beads. We'll put the lure body on next, and then the treble hook, and then we'll tie off we'll make another eye at the treble hook, snip that off, and it's good to go. What it means to be a fisherman is you get to get away from home. You get to get out and enjoy nature, fish by yourself, fish with your friends, your family. It's just a good time out in the open air.